Hello, hello. Welcome to English Extras. My name is Jean. If you're here, it's because you don't want to sound like a textbook. You're in the right place. This podcast is to help intermediate and advanced learners find alternatives to textbook English so you can express yourself authentically. Let's begin. Talking about time can be tricky because native speakers, not just of English, but of any language, create shortcuts. That's something to remember when you're learning a language. Native speakers are lazy. Native speakers will always find the quickest, easiest way to say something. But sometimes that can create some issues because speakers don't always agree on what a particular shortcut means. But first, let's get the easier stuff out of the way. There are two common ways to tell someone what time it is. There are two sets of numbers when telling time. The first refers to the hour, and when it is exactly on the hour, we say 5 o'clock or 1 o'clock. The second set of numbers refers to the minutes, going between 1 and 59. The easiest and most common way is simply to say the hour and minutes as numbers, like this. It's 7:30. It's 9:15. Most native speakers will tell time this way. The only exception is for the minutes between 1 and 9. For these numbers, we add O, like this. It's 2:02, or it's 9:05. But remember, native speakers are lazy. What if it's close to 7 o'clock, but not exactly? Well, native speakers likely aren't going to say the exact time, like this, 7:58. Instead, we would probably say it's almost 8, or it's nearly 8, or sometimes it's just about 8. If it's a few minutes past the top of the hour, we can say it's just after 2, or it's just after 11. Notice here that I did not say o'clock. It's perfectly acceptable to drop the o'clock and simply say the number of the hour. However, another common way to tell someone the time is to use relative terms. These include quarter after, quarter till, and half past. In general, using these relative terms is less common than simply stating the numbers. In fact, using half past specifically is a bit more British than American. These relative terms refer to specific minutes. For example, quarter means 1/4 or 25%. A quarter of an hour equals 15 minutes because 15 is 1/4 or 25% of 60 minutes. So when we say it's quarter after 5, this means that it is 5:15. When we say it's quarter to 5, this means it's 15 minutes before 5 o'clock. In other words, 4:45. Half past is a little more self-explanatory. If I say it's 10:30, then that means it's 10:30 because 30 is half of 60. But again, saying half past is more British than American in my experience. This same pattern can also be applied to 5 after, 5 to, 10 after, and 10 to. but these are less common. Keep in mind, you might sometimes hear someone say till instead of to. But don't worry, it has the same meaning. Till is simply short for until. So those are two ways to tell someone the time. Now, let's move on to something a bit trickier, and that is the ways we refer to a particular day. To tell someone the day of the month, it can be very easy. You simply say May 18th or December 1st. But let's be honest, not everyone keeps a calendar in their heads. But most people can remember if today is a Monday or a Thursday. First, let's talk about the word this. When you say this Monday or this Friday, it means the very next Monday in the future or the very next Friday in the future. For example, I have a test this Friday, or I have a big meeting this Monday. That one most people can agree on. But remember when I said that native speakers create shortcuts and sometimes they don't agree on what those shortcuts mean? Well, there is enormous debate around the word next and what it means when you're trying to tell someone a day of the week. To demonstrate this point, I asked some of my friends and family a question. I asked, today is Saturday. If I said we're having a party next Wednesday, what does that mean to you? Here's what Chris had to say.
That means not this coming Wednesday, the one after that, a week from this Wednesday.
So for Chris, in this context, next means a week from Wednesday, meaning 11 days from Saturday. Here's what Gabby had to say.
Yeah, so if today's Saturday and the party is next Wednesday, it's not this week, it's the following week, Wednesday. Because if it was the closer Wednesday, you would say this Wednesday, not next Wednesday.
So Gabby and Chris have the same opinion about the way next works in this context. Let's hear what Kyle had to say.
I would say it's this coming Wednesday because my weeks are from Sunday to Saturday. So technically the new week hasn't started till the next following day, which is Sunday. So next Wednesday would be in the next week, which is starting tomorrow, which would be this coming Wednesday.
For Kyle, he thinks of time in a calendar way. Therefore, if we're discussing a day in the following calendar week, he would use next. If we're discussing a day within the same calendar week, he would use this. Finally, I asked one more person. If today is Saturday and I said we're having a party next Wednesday, what does that mean to you? And he said,
I would say yes, not this coming Wednesday, the Wednesday after this Wednesday.
So you can see there isn't a consensus on this topic. If we look at the numbers, 2 people in the group, including myself, used next to describe the upcoming Wednesday, and 3 people in the group used next to describe the Wednesday following the upcoming one. Because this is such a nuanced topic, native speakers will very often use clarifying phrases to make sure there isn't a misunderstanding in the conversation. Of course, the easiest way would be simply to state the exact date, Wednesday, May 29th, for example. But since people don't often have calendars memorized, we use relative language instead. You heard these words already. The phrase "this upcoming Wednesday" means the first Wednesday after today. If today is Saturday, then this upcoming Wednesday means in 4 days from now. The phrase "the following Wednesday" isn't always helpful because it falls prey to the same ambiguity as next. Depending on what today is, it could be this Wednesday or the following Wednesday. The clearest phrase would be a week from Wednesday. If today is Saturday, a week from Wednesday means 11 days from now. Think about the first Wednesday after today, then think 1 week after that. That's a week from Wednesday. You can also use this structure to refer to a day in the recent past. If you say a week ago Wednesday, think about the first previous Wednesday and then 1 week before that. That's a week ago Wednesday. You can use this for a lot of things. If you're telling your friend about your life recently and you want to say when something happened, you can use this phrase like this. Hey, Jean, what have you been up to? Well, I had my birthday a week ago Friday. Oh my gosh, happy belated birthday. If you want to refer to just the first previous Wednesday, Friday, Monday, whatever, then you can simply say this past Friday or this past Wednesday, etc. I know these phrases can seem really intimidating at first, but I encourage you to take some time to let your brain understand them. It might require some time, but you'll get it in the end. Of course, there are transcripts of this podcast available on my Ko-fi page at ko-fi.com/Miss Jean Teaches. There you have it. In this episode, we explored different ways to talk about time. These included direct ways to tell time, as if from a clock, and indirect ways to talk about days of the week, and common phrases native speakers use to clarify misunderstandings. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram at Miss Jean Teaches. Until next time, bye. Go ahead. Not too close. Right there. Yep.
So if it was Sunday night and you were asking me the same question, I would say not in 3 days Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. Because to reference my previous point, it started a new week.
But what is the difference between Saturday, for example, the 9th, and Sunday the 10th? And you're saying if it's Sunday the 10th and you say next Wednesday, you're like, oh, it's this Wednesday. If it was Saturday the 9th versus talking on like your work schedule, that's so confusing.
It's all just based on when my week starts for me. Some people's weeks start on like a Sunday or Monday. Mine starts every Sunday. So Sunday to Saturday is a week for me. So anything that falls in that week is within that week.
You would say this.
Yeah, this.
So in that scenario where you think next is this coming one, is the term this Wednesday the same thing for you?
In this scenario, yes.
They're interchangeable?
Yes.
Next and this is the same one.
Because of where we're at in the day of the week, yes.
Okay.
Fair. Fred, same question.
Let's say I can't make it.
Keep it in.
Fred, do you want to give an actual answer or are you good with that?
But I